Last week, we weighed some calves, and they turned out to be monsters. But with grass running out, we need to turn an eye to winter housing, because it's about time that we bring the cows in.
Oh, we got a lot on this week. We're going to try and get ready for cows, so we're going to have a shuffle round. There's fat cattle that are going on a lorry this week. We've got some more fat cattle that aren't quite ready yet. They're going to go and have to be sorted out and go in a different yard so the cows can come in. We need to rebuild that. That's going to start cleaning these blocks and knocking it up. Cows are then hopefully maybe coming in this week, might be next week, just depends on how things go. Although I have got a bit of a trump card up my sleeve, which I'm very hopeful will mean they won't be in for very long at all. On a side note, I need to get my phone fixed because I thought it was a good idea to let it fall out of my pocket the other day and drive over it with the telehandler. It's not a good idea, but the only thing that I broke was the camera, but I do need the camera because on Thursday I'm heading down to Westminster, which is the day after the budget, so I'm not going to be there for the protest. I'm there the day after the budget to do a podcast with Victoria Atkins MP, who is the Shadow Secretary of State for the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs. And we're going to do a podcast covering everything from IHT to everything that's going on in DEFRA, SFI, so on and so forth. She's the MP for Louth and Horncastle as well, which is a very rural constituency. I also have a very special parcel coming this morning. It is pretty much a video in of itself, but I'm very excited about this. Like, it's mega. I didn't think I'd get one of these for a long time. But this is just going to be a tease. I ain't going to tell you what it is until we get the video out. I'm so excited. We've got a bit of an issue this morning with the feeder wagon. I'll just show you what's going on. This kind of push out the bottom here, and you see it's bending that, and I'm not quite sure why it's doing it. If we're just looking here. Right, yeah, so I reckon this is just pushing. The trapdoor's just pushing that and wedging it down here, and it's bolted on. And it's not bolted on at the back, is it? It's not bolted to the feeder. It's pushing that, and it's bending the frame down. So it turns out it does bolt here. It bolts into these holes, and what we think's happening is because it doesn't get flicked out in this corner because of the shape of the tub, it sits here, and then when you bring that door down, it pushes it. So decided it's operator error, and I need to get out and clean it off every time. Also, look at these taters. Dad chopped a load of taters in it this morning. Just put 3 ton in there and just let it do its thing for like half an hour. And look at them.
Top of the paddle.
Yeah, filled it all the way to the top of. So they got the thing in the middle, that spirally thing that spins. As long as you fill it to there, there's enough weight to kind of keep everything, stop it moving and just spinning like a washing machine. And it chops them. Lovely. Look at that. They're all that size. You wouldn't get that with a feeder bucket. 30 minutes. That's all you need. Done 3 ton. And you can do something else whilst it's doing it. You haven't got to sit there either. It's turned out to not be as big a job as I thought. Oh. Camera's falling off, which is lucky because I thought it was going to be a big job. I think we just get the jack in there now and jack it square, and then there's a couple of other bits I need to just bend just to get them right, put some new bolts in, and then maybe get myself a brush or a little sort of trowel, and I'll just flick it out of there every time. I'll just have to get off my arse. It's usually the trouble, to be honest, isn't it, with this stuff? Laziness. What you got? Oh, a bit of something to kneel on. You can tell he's getting old. He's got stuff to kneel on just lying around. What size is this going to be? 13 mil? Look at that. Bring it over here. It's a 13 mil. Little square-headed ones. Okay, I shouldn't complain. It's actually really comfortable. We've got a problem here. What? Because it's lifting that middle up. It's not bending it straight. We've hit a snag. We've got to get this closer together. So we need to put a bolt in that end hole and bring it up before we pressurise this. Right, no, it's because it's bent. Because it's bent, it's making it shorter. But you've got to get that one in first. Yeah, do that with that angle, like that.
Yeah, go ready again.
Ow! Right, so we've got it sorted in the end. All these bolts are all pulled up and back where they should be. We had to get the sort of jack in here, mole grip it on, line it up with a punch. It was a bit of a job, but we got there. If we come in here, you can see what happens. Right, so this door kind of comes down, and this bit here is just flat. It's literally just a flat plate. And obviously, as that door comes down, it traps any of this sort of silage, whatever, just on the edge of it, and forces constantly down at that plate. And eventually, obviously, you get enough built up there, it's just going to pop them bolts and snap them. So I think that's what I just need to do, is just come in and clean that bit out every day. and it should be all right. The thing is, most folks have a auger elevator on the end. So that elevator then comes underneath there, so it clears that out. Whereas obviously if we're not, that's the problem, because you've got to have the C1 across the front here. We have that one. And I guess then you don't have the trouble. It is what it is. You know, going in there every day and just doing this, cheaper than an elevator. And effectively more reliable, because if I lose one hand, I've still got the other one. Here's them spuddies too, look how well they've chopped. I mean, they're a bit wet, because they're full of water, but look at them, bloody amazing. We used to have a chopper bucket for chopping beet years ago. We used to chop it into a Keenan, and now I'm thinking we ought to have just bought one of them, because that chops it and mixes it and does everything. But I'm taken by that thing, properly taken by it. I love it. I'm still completely adamant that you don't necessarily need one, but this year, firstly, absolute godsend, getting us out of a real sticky situation, and just like versatile, so versatile. If you need one, buy a till mixer. Unbelievable. Right, so we've got to get this shed empty because I need to bring some fat stock up into here so we can get the cow yards empty. We're going to put a bunker in the doorway there, because it's good because you've got that concrete pad you can clean up, because this trough is just a bit too high for the feeder wagon, and the concrete there is absolutely knackered. So even if you could get the feeder wagon over, you'll tip it and you'll bloody bend something, and I just don't need to bend anything else now, do we? So we've got to clean this out and sort of put the kit away, and then we're going to put a load of kit away in here. We need to stack some more stuff on top of the trailers. I need to wash the big trailer and put that in the side there as well, and just everything needs to be sorted out. Dad's gone cleaning some blocks down for that wall, and then hopefully by the end of the day we'll be able to move some cattle up into here. I need to weigh them, stick them in here, stick some culls in with them, and you know, just generally sort our life out a bit. So I think what we've got to do is that trailer's got to go over there into the hay. We've got the baler. That can go down in the combine shed for the time being, needs washing off and getting rid of. That needs cleaning off, that can go back in the shed round the back. That trailer can go down the bottom. That's going on top of the trailers. Those can be moved out, that can be moved out. Tone fert. What the bloody am I going to do with that? In an ideal world, it'd go down the bottom where the baler's going to go, but the baler's going to go down there. So can I put it down there as well? I'll have to try. We need more sheds, but we also need less sheds. We need less kit. Then I've got to just take this, that's got to go in front of the drill. Once that's done, I've got to lift that marker up so that we can back the trailer in here. That can go at the back somewhere. All this stuff just needs a general tidy up. Dad is going to want that sand at some point because he needs to build them blocks up. Those blocks can be moved out of the way because they're broken. They could probably go up the yard. And then, and only then, we'll be getting on ready to bring the cows and have a bit of a shuffle round. Right, so we're about there. Just got flat 8 grab now to put up on top of the trailers, but I'll have to wait till Dad's here to do that because it swings around like Billy-O. I do sometimes wonder why we think it's a good idea to stick everything in the shed in the spring, because it seems great, you know, you get your sheds cleared out, you're like, we'll put everything in the shed, and then you get to this time of year and it takes a whole bloody day to get your shed clear again. It's mental. Just, I don't know, just don't have it in the first place. Let's just not have the stuff in the first place. That'll make life easier. Got to nip up the village because I need to move a water tanker thing for the calves that were there, and I've got a puncture on it, so I'm going to blow it up. But I've just been listening to the budget, and from what I can gather, there's no real changes. There's definitely not a U-turn in the inheritance tax thing, and there are no changes or relaxations or slackening of the rules. So that's a bit rough. So in all honesty, when the whole inheritance tax thing came about last year, I looked at it from a relatively selfish point of view, which is the first thing you generally do, because you go, how is this going to affect me? I kind of thought it's not too bad because Dad is still fairly young, in good health. I'm fairly young, we've got a lot of time to plan this. Generally speaking, if we go about it right, which we have, like looking at solicitors, accountants, trying to just plan all this as much as we can, we should be okay. Barring some disaster, we should be okay. The main concerns I have for ourselves is the fact that this is a complete tax on tragedy. We don't know if someone's going to get ill and die very quickly. And theoretically, we work in the second most dangerous industry in the country in agriculture. So there is more chance of us dying than there is in pretty much everybody other than North Sea fishing. You could just get killed by a cow that has otherwise always been very respectful and very kind, and it's just on a bad day. Or you could, you know, have something fall on you or get ran over, or there's so many things that could happen to you on a farm that is completely not accounted for in this tax. Secondly, despite the fact that I think it's good that people will start thinking about succession planning and looking at all of that and planning their business and passing things down and so on and encouraging the next generation, there are people who are in their 90s who since the autumn of their years have been told that they need to not sell their land, not hand it over. The best, most tax efficient thing that you can do is just die and let everyone else sort it out afterwards because they'll get 100% tax relief on it. And these people are now going to be subject to a 20% taxation on their farmland, and they have not got the time to plan it. If you're in your 90s now, the chances of you making it to 97, 98 or whatever to be able to actually hand over the land, have the holdover and not pay tax is practically zero. These people have been told all their life that they should just leave it, and there's no nuance, there's no off-ramp for them, there's nothing, and these people are just going to fall by the wayside, and it's tragic. So I'm going to make a prediction, and it's kind of two-parted. Firstly, I think that there's going to become a reality in the next 10 years that the UK are going to realise that we're not the world superpower that we think we are. We're kind of piggybacking off the fact that we used to have an empire and the fact that people speak English. That's our only trump card in this. We think that because of that, we therefore have some sort of influence, and we don't. And I think we'll come to the realisation sooner or later that that's not going to be the case. And secondly, I think that we'll lose family farms. There will be people who will fall by the wayside in this. There will be such a lack of investment in the countryside and in food security, which Labour, let me tell you, have said food security is national security. That is in their manifesto, and yet they have still gone ahead and done what they've done. I think there will be this realisation of what they've done, and there'll be no coming back from it. This is not going to drive land prices down. Land price is not driven by the economic value created through agriculture. It's driven by its finiteness. The fact that there is no more land. You can't make more land. You can't make more cropland. It is what it is. And that's why you have investment banks like BlackRock buying land up, because the price keeps driving. Because we can't get more of it. It's finite. You can't keep building on it. You can't keep developing it and get more of it. It just gets less. And then that makes it more valuable. So I think there'll be this sudden realization of, oh my God, what have we done? And there'll be no coming back from it. And unfortunately, the reality to that is imports. You rely on the global stage. And then what happens when you have a world war? People, read some books. The politicians need to read some books. There's a great one by Ray Dalio. I can't remember the name of it. They need to read that book. Anyway, let's get back to some proper farming, because let's be honest, no one cares what I think. If you do want to hear from the experts, listen to the Stakeholders Podcast when we actually interview Victoria Atkins. One great thing about Victoria Atkins is she is the Shadow Secretary of State for the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs now, but she used to be in the Treasury. So she knows her stuff. She's been on both sides of the fence. So it'd be really interesting to get her view on it. Anyway, I'm up the village because we got this trailer, you've seen it before, where we've got the tanks on, and we've got the cows. They've just gone on the other side of the fence over there, and this has got a what do you call it, trough on the back of it, so we just need to move this up so that the cows have got some water. As always on this farm, flat tires, so it's time for the trusty old air brake airline thing. Honestly, if you've got air brakes, get one of them. It makes life so much easier. There we go, happy days. We put that tyre on this one last year, and they're a bugger because they're split rims. The split rims are a nightmare, and I don't understand because it's been fine for ages and now it's going down, but we've barely moved it. So how do things get punctures when they're not moving? And it's a new tube, so it's not this gone porous. Not porous, what's the word? No, it is porous. God, I hate it when it does that. These trailers are dead interesting. So these trailers were, I think my granddad bought them. I think he had them made, but they've got World War II axles in or something. We've got two of them. They're completely different to each other, but they're both the same. Does that make sense? Let's just show you this trailer. Look, because the crazy old axle. So that's like a driven axle, look, and it's had the shaft taken out of it, and it's just been welded on this weird old frame. And it's handy. It does the job. We stick these on, we fill them full of water, and then it keeps everything going. And when they're not like this, when they're grazing more rapidly round, we put a pipe on here and just drag the trough about. But these girls are doing well. Look at this one. Look how wide she is. It's a nice cow. This is just some deferred grazing from hay aftermaths. It's nothing particularly special, but it's going to keep them going well. They've been up here for about a month now, and they're only being moved about once a week because they've got so much grass, and there's no regrowth this time of year. Well, there is. It's very, very slow, so there's no need to back fence them. So they can go on for about a week and then just move on. And they've still got another sort of 16 acres. So they've been on half of this, which is a 16-acre field. So they've got this 8 acres here, and then they've got another 16 acres through there. So they'll be up here for a fair while yet, which is good. Less winter forest to worry about. I've got to do some feeding before I head off to London tomorrow, so I want to feed up tonight. But I want it's all cleaned out because I left them this morning, trying to eat up as much as we can. But I hate having this stuff in the bottom. Might I add as well, new fork, been spending big. Dad's been cracking on with his wall. He's kind of got to wait now. He's done quite a bit of blocking, so he's got up 3 more rows. He'll tell you not to judge this brickwork because, to be fair, he didn't build the original wall. Someone built it for my granddad years ago. They've used crappy bricks. They've put them on very badly. They've hardly got any mortar in them. And obviously they were just reclaiming the blocks. He's getting there. He's getting there. What we're going to do is we're going to fill these and pin them. So we're going to use this rebar, like he's got in here. We'll cut that off, drive more rebar down and fill all those blocks so they're solid, because one of the problems we have here is cows are in the yard, they go through this gate and round the corner to go into the gangway to feed, and they pile here, congregate here and bang into the wall and whatever, and I think it just loosens it. And over time, like, you know what it's like, these things, you don't need much of a knock every day and all of a sudden it becomes loose. So he's got another couple of rows of blocks on here. There was some smashed ones that he's got rid of, so he's got to do about another, I think it's 18 blocks or something like that to finish it, and we'll just fill them, and that'll be fine. We'll be back onto another job. That's what I've been doing for about 12 months, so I'm glad we'll have that one out of the way. Anyway, I've got a few jobs to get done before we head down to London tomorrow, and I'm starting to panic a little bit. I've got to get a train, which I've struggled with. I got a train once into Birmingham from Hinckley, which is the nearest sort of town train station going east to west. And when I got on the train in Birmingham to come back, I couldn't work out which train to go on because Hinckley weren't on the signs, but apparently it's the end destination. But I didn't know where the end destination was. I just wanted to get off at Hinckley. So I had a bit of a panic. I had to ring the wife. And I'm now panicking also about how I'm going to use the tube, because I don't really feel overly confident with using a service bus, because I didn't use one of them till I was 18. So I'm a bit worried, but luckily Ben and Neil know what they're doing. I just don't know where they're going to, so I don't know where to meet them. I'm having a tiz. I'm having a tiz already. Anyway, we'll see you on the other side when I'm hopefully not lost in London. I thought I'd best dress up for the occasion, considering we're meeting an MP, very important MP as well. But I do need to find somewhere for a coffee and something to eat for breakfast, because I left super early, so I've not had any breakfast. Does anyone know where Rachel Reeves gets her croissants? See if I can bump into her and have a word.
Well, it turns out that no matter what pret-a-manger I went in, Rachel Reeves was nowhere to be seen. But if you are adversely affected by the changes to inheritance tax, then please seek professional advice from solicitors, accountants, and if necessary, mental health professionals. Oh, and tune into Steakholders Podcast for episode 2. It's going to be a good one. Until next time, Body's Farm, over and out.